What I do know is that he sent a request to Father Gruner, when Father Gruner was still alive, to learn all about Fatima. And so Father Gruner, I think himself, came to Rome and met with a delegate of Putin and laid it all out. And the delegate will have taken it all in, recorded it most likely, and back he went to Moscow, and he will have most likely laid it all out in front of Putin. So Putin is most likely completely informed on Fatima. It looks as though Pope Francis cut him off at the pass. That again is very likely. The Masonic churchmen in Rome, under the grip of Freemasonry, under the grip of the same people. The Freemasons are, many of the high up churchmen in Rome are Freemasons. And they probably have a better grip on Fatima than many good, quote unquote, good Catholics.
In the year 1917, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared 6 times to 3 little children, Francisco and Jacinta Marto and Lucia de Santos. Our Lady told the children that on October 13, 1917, she would perform a miracle that everyone will have to believe. On October 13th at noon, the Blessed Virgin appeared to the children. Lucia suddenly told the people in the crowd to shut their umbrellas in the midst of a drenching rain that had turned the area to mud. The miracle then happened. The sun started to make movements outside the laws of nature. The sun appeared to change colors and danced in the sky. It spun rapidly like a gigantic fire wheel. The sun, after 10 minutes, began to plunge towards the earth. Thousands of people in the crowd of 70,000 that had gathered to witness the promised miracle began to cry and fell on the ground thinking the end of the world had come. Right before the sun was about to hit the earth, it reversed direction and went back to its normal position in the sky. Many of the sick were instantly cured. The miracle stunned the gathered multitude, converting hardened unbelievers, including atheists and Freemasons. On October 15, 1917, 2 days later, the Masonic and anti-Catholic daily newspaper O Seculo declared about the Fatima miracle, quote, "How the sun danced in broad daylight at Fatima, the apparitions of the Virgin, the sign of heaven. Thousands declared a miracle," end quote. The newspaper headline was a confirmation by a public and anti-Catholic source that Our Lady of Fatima's apparitions and the miracle of the sun were indeed the sign and event predicted in Apocalypse 12, verse 1. So the first part of the secret of Fatima was a vision of hell. The second part of the secret was a prediction of World War II if men did not cease offending God. To prevent World War II and the other punishments predicted in the second part of the secret, the Blessed Virgin Mary appeared and gave a message to Lucia on June 13, 1929. Lucia was now a religious sister at a convent in Tui, Spain. The Blessed Virgin told Sister Lucia that the moment has come in which God asked the Holy Father, in union with all the bishops throughout the world, to consecrate Russia to her Immaculate Heart, promising by this means it shall be saved. Pope Pius XI never consecrated Russia, and on January 25, 1938, the skies of Europe at night were illuminated by an unknown light as predicted by Our Lady. People in Switzerland at 11 p.m. at night could read their newspapers outdoors. Sister Lucia confirmed that this strange light was the sign given by God that he was about to punish the whole world. World War II began shortly after this great light was seen, and the second part of the secret was fulfilled. Sister Lucia made Bishop de Silva promise that, quote, the third secret would be open and read to the world upon her death or in 1960, whatever would happen first, end quote. The Holy Office at the Vatican demanded the text of the third secret in 1957. On April 16, 1957, the third secret arrived in Rome. The evidence seems to indicate that Pope Pius XII was going to wait until 1960 to read the third secret, but ended up dying on October 9, 1958. So the whole world waited in 1960 for the Vatican to release the third secret, and on February 8, 1960, the Vatican announced in a press release that the third secret would not be revealed. Some might ask the question that even if the Vatican said they wouldn't be revealing the third secret to the public in 1960, why didn't Sister Lucia herself tell the whole world what the third secret really was? As we have seen in its note of July 2, 1959, the Chancery of Coimbra declared authoritatively that, quote, Sister Lucia has nothing more to say on Fatima, end quote.
You have taken a vow of silence or secrecy. You have read the third secret. It was shared with you. Is that correct?
It was given to me to read, yes. One morning early in February 1960. And of course, before I got it, I had to take this simple oath you always take of maintaining the secret. The cardinal who showed it to me had been present at a meeting held by Pope John XXIII in that year, 1960, to outline to a certain number of cardinals and prelates what he thought should be done with the secret. That John the 23rd, Pope John the 23rd, then Pope in 1960, did not think that he should publish the secret. 2 years later, opening the Vatican Council, he echoed very succinctly and almost contemptuously in the middle of his speech on October 11, 1962, in St. Peter's, to the assembled bishops who had come for the Vatican Council, he derided contemptuously the people he called prophets of doom. And there was no doubt in any of our minds he was talking about the three prophets of Fatima.
I really want to thank the person that transcribed this for me. The following is a transcription of what is possibly the third secret of Fatima. You decide for yourself. Here we go. A great plague will befall mankind. Nowhere in the world will there be order. Satan will have his power. The powerful who command the people and who will incite them to produce enormous quantities of arms. God will punish man more thoroughly than with the flood. There will come the time of all times and the end of all ends. One great war will erupt in the second half of the 20th century. Fire and smoke will fall from the sky. The oceans will change into steam, and the steam will rise and overflow everything. The waters of the ocean will become mist, Millions and millions of people will die from hour to hour. Whoever remains alive will envy the dead. Everywhere one turns, there is going to be anguish and misery, ruins in every country. The time draws nearer. The abyss widens without hope, the good to perish with the bad, the great with the small, the princes of the church with the faithful, the rulers with their people. There will be death everywhere because of the errors committed by non-believers and crazy followers of Satan, which will then, and only then, take control over the world. At the last, those who survive will at every chance newly proclaim God and His glory, and they will serve Him as when the world was not so perverted. That's it. Father Martin?
It is not the text. Yes, there are elements which do belong in the third secret.
Bearing in mind what I just read,
Yes.
would you consider the third secret to be as traumatic as is suggested in what I read, or more so?
More so.
More so.
More so.
The meeting took place, and I learned through the diplomatic channels that I have in Rome that there was a discussion. But in the course of the official discussion, Mr. Putin asked about the consecration of Russia. And Father Bergoglio, as he likes to be called, Francis, replied to Mr. Putin, "We will not discuss Fatima." And through the diplomatic back channels, I learned that Mr. Putin understood this to be a snub. Beyond that, one of Mr. Putin's highest-ranking military intelligence officers was there with him in the Vatican with President Putin. And one of the cardinals there, described as one of Bergoglio's soldiers, who was Cardinal Ravasi, very close, looking at us. They were in front of a statue of Our Lady of Fatima, and Cardinal Ravasi said, "We will destroy Fatima." So this is the mindset of the people who occupy the Vatican at the present time. It used to be said, we can't consecrate Russia because it will offend the communists. Well, the communists are not in power anymore. It is now Russians who are asking for the consecration of Russia, and the ones who are preventing it are the Masons in the Vatican, because this will be a blow to their ecumenism. The ecumenical unity, which was foretold by Pope St. Pius X as the great danger of the one world religion. So as the Vatican, occupied by Freemasons, as the late Monsignor Marini said, we are under Masonic occupation. Now it is ecclesiastical Freemasonry that objects to the consecration of Russia, because that interferes with their plans. It has nothing to do with offending the Russians, because now the top man in Russia, perhaps the only Christian leader in the world left, is interested in having Russia consecrated, and it is the man who calls himself Bishop of Rome, Francis Bergoglio, who says, "We will not discuss Fatima."